As tensions build between Russia and Ukraine, the U.S. Secretary of State made an unscheduled stop at the United Nations.
Antony Blinken discussed U.S. concerns over Russia's military buildup along Ukraine's border. The U.S. now estimates more than 150,000 Russian troops have amassed. CBS 2's Skyler Henry reports President Biden believes the threat of an invasion is very high.
Let me be clear. I am here today not to start a war, but to prevent one.
Sitting before the United Nations Security Council, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken passionately called on Russia to de-escalate tensions with Ukraine.
The Russian government can announce today that Russia will not invade Ukraine, and then demonstrate it by sending your troops, your tanks, your planes back to their barracks and hangars, and sending your diplomats to the negotiating table.
The Kremlin continues to deny it plans to attack its neighbor, but the U.S. says Russia is setting the stage with an increased troop presence, a cyber campaign targeting Ukraine's government and critical infrastructure, and the spread of disinformation as pretext.
We have reason to believe that they are engaged in a false flag operation to have an excuse to go in.
Russia plans to manufacture a pretext for its attack. It could be a fabricated so-called terrorist bombing inside Russia, the invented discovery of a mass grave, a staged drone strike against civilians, or a fake, even a real, attack using chemical weapons.
Tensions ratcheted up Thursday. Officials accused Russian-backed forces of shelling this kindergarten in eastern Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia has expelled the #2 U.S. diplomat from Moscow, which the U.S. described as an escalatory step. In a long-awaited response to a letter from the Biden administration, Russia says the U.S. ignored security concerns and threatened a, quote, military technical response.
There is nothing inevitable about this looming conflict.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin wrapped up meetings at NATO in Brussels before continuing to Poland and Lithuania. Russia and Ukraine are at the top of the agenda for him, and also for the Vice President and Secretary of State at the Munich Security Conference this week. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.